Welcome to Curly Q&A Mondays with Melanie. I am your host, Ken Nickels, and I'm here with Melanie Nickels. She is the founder of the Raw Hair Organic Salon in beautiful Naples, Florida. It's one of the top curly hair salons in the entire country, and she is one of the top curl specialists anywhere in the world. She is also the founder of the Raw Hair Organic Salon, no, the Raw Curls line of natural and organic products, right?
All the above.
Of natural and organic hair products. So we had to start over.
Oh, God. Okay,
Anyway,
well, you can say
right.
It's raw hair, raw curls, rods, raw paws, RHO beauty.
Cut. Anyway, so that's it. So anyway, yeah, Melanie is supposed to be on vacation today, but she's come in to answer your curly hair questions, right?
Yeah, here I am. This is my vacation. Yeah, and in the pouring rain. That's
in the pouring rain.
My fun fact. I have these fun rain boots that I finally got to wear. I forgot that I have my rubbers on.
You got your rubbers on. Well, that's good.
So I'm fully protected.
Fully protected, and that's important.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh. Do you have a fun fact for us this week?
I just gave it.
What was the fun fact? That you have
I'm
boots
on vacation.
Oh, that you're on vacation.
This is my vacation.
Oh, I guess that is. Yeah.
Well, I did think of one because a client asked me, and I said I would remember to ask you because we were talking about degrees, and I said that you had gone to school to be a teacher.
Yeah.
But
originally, yeah.
Yeah. And she asked me what you were going to be teaching, and I said, God only knows. I have no idea, but what were you going to plan on teaching?
I hadn't totally decided. I really liked coaching, and
PD, Phi-Ed.
Well, that's what I really liked.
God. And actually, who wouldn't want to be a Phi-Ed teacher?
Well, what's interesting, because I was actually good at it, and that's why I liked it.
Well, yeah.
But I really didn't like the idea of teaching, of being a gym teacher. I didn't really like that. I really like the idea of coaching.
Well, that's something you do on top of teaching.
I know, and that's why it was a real struggle.
That's why you dropped out.
Okay, here's another. I got bored. Got bored more than anything. But what's interesting about that is when I was 18 years old, I was good enough at coaching that when I was 18 years old, I actually got a job as the boys swim team coach at Juneau High School, which I eventually got kicked off because somebody in the teachers union got it, but because they wanted the job, and that's how the union worked, and I wasn't, because I was just a student.
I don't even remember you ever coaching. Like, yeah. I've taught and coached my whole life, but
I actually got it. I got 2 excellent recommendations from within the public school, and I actually got it. I couldn't believe it. I was 18 years old, and I was an actual coach of like a big school. But anyway, so yeah, so that's that. All right, you want to get into some questions? All right, let's get into some questions. We got a lot of them, and a lot of different ones tonight too. So pretty neat. Let's start with alcohol. You want to start with alcohol? It's always a good way to start the show.
Hey, I'm on vacation. We should have a drink. I was going to bring a fun cocktail with, umbrellas. That's the only kind, like you say. If it doesn't taste like candy, I don't like it. We don't drink it. We don't drink.
She won't.
So usually non-alcoholic with lots of umbrellas. But yeah, so let's start with alcohol.
Okay.
Let's get the party started.
Yeah, let's start with that. Melanie, which alcohol is safe, if any? What is ceteryl alcohol? So I guess that's a...
Sorry, I'm adjusting my hair because I got poured on. Okay, ceteryl alcohol is how you say it. And that is a fatty alcohol. It is a moisturizing alcohol. So there are good alcohols and bad alcohols, and I'm not going to go through the whole list, but like isopropyl is like rubbing alcohol. There's several, what's the other major common one?
Oh, that's really the big one that people are confused about for some reason.
Yeah. Well,
they think it's a drying alcohol, and it's really not. It's really a fat.
Ceteryl alcohol.
Yeah, correct.
You're talking about.
Yes.
Yeah. So isopropyl alcohol is drying.
Would be a drying.
Yeah. So, and this is something that I teach in my class, and all the classes that I do actually, because it is confusing. So, because we keep saying alcohols are bad, and that's true for the most part. The ones that you're going to see at the top of the list when you look at products, especially like aerosol products. A lot of gels have alcohol in them because it's a drying agent, and they need it to dry so it can set, but that also can dry the hair. So ceteryl alcohol is actually a fatty ingredient, which is a moisturizing ingredient, and that one is actually safe. So it's it is confusing. I don't know, unless somebody gets really educated, and I guess, those two are easy to remember, but then there's
That's
other
really the
ones.
biggest one that people ask
Yeah,
about. So
yeah.
I mean, rather than getting into a big
I know,
lesson on
because
it.
people have, I know, I can get like real
Right.
technical, and then it gets even more confusing. So
And
that's
boring.
why I'm trying,
And boring.
and everyone's eyes glaze over. So I've learned not to go down that path.
Right.
And that's why I'm trying to just simplify this for everybody. But, and I know people then have picked up our product and said, oh, there's alcohol in it. And so I just quickly explain that, and, then they're okay with it. But unfortunately, I'm not standing there next to every shelf of products to explain ingredients. So, but if you can just remember those two, Satirial is okay and moisturizing, and isopropyl is drying.
I should probably bring this up. The way that I get these questions every week is I typically go into a couple of our Facebook groups, like the Curly Girl Support Group. That's our biggest one. That's about 50,000 members or so. The Diva Curl User Support Group, and the Raw Curls User Support Group, and the We Dad User Support Group. Groups that we run in the Curly Hair Specialists group as well. And that's how I get these. So sometimes if you've listened or watched this show enough, you'll see that sometimes I stumble over questions and they may not come out right. And a lot of that is because of the way they're written. And I try to doctor them up, trying to figure out what they meant when they actually typed it. And I know a lot of it is because people use the voice to activate, voice activation on their phone and whatever. So, and this next question is one of them. So if it's a little weird, we can adjust it.
I'm just gonna clarify another, because a lot of times when those alcohols are listed on products, I just remembered, a lot of times the bad drying alcohol is listed as SD alcohol. Yeah.
Okay.
So that's another, so if it just says alcohol or SD alcohol or isopropyl, those are all bad. Stay away from.
Okay.
Anyway.
All right. So that all being said, the next question is, why do some people insist that you must do things which are actually not curly girl friendly things or methods? I don't know.
Read that again.
I see that.
Read that again.
I see that a lot. And I know exactly what this woman is getting at.
Say it again.
She asks, why do some people insist that you must do things which are not actually curly girl method friendly things?
Like what? I mean, do we have an example?
Well, I saw a discussion in one of the groups this week about with some people saying, I don't care what anybody says, I have to use silicones or my hair looks like crap. But to the point, to Kara's point in this question, I don't know. I think what happens is I think that there's people that struggle to stay within the curly girl, method, or what they, perceive it to be. And some things, for whatever reason, don't work. And that, I mean, we could have that discussion forever. I see it all the time. Sometimes, people complain it don't work. And then I look at the products that they're using and I'm like, well, that's why, your product choices. It could be the, where you live as far as, weather, it could be humidity, it could be dry, it could be, a multitude of things. But, again, like I said, to her point, I think what she's getting at is, I think it's a little confusing when you're in a group that's, supposed to be a support group, a helping group, and, and seeing people who, are doing things other than that, and, and pretty vocal about it.
Well, I'm going to be very controversial about this because, what I always say, bottom line is it's your hair. So, I mean, I talk about that all the time. It's like we professionally will recommend what we know is best and what works for the majority of people. But when it comes down to it, it's your hair. And if you want to use something that, we don't agree with, or that's not what we're doing or teaching, then, whatever.
Right.
But, I mean, and that's why I always say it's your choice. But if you're struggling and you're having problems, then, maybe you have to rethink or relook at, if it's not working. But if it is, then whatever. I mean,
Right.
I want to say I don't care.
Well,
I mean, if somebody's if their routine and their products are working for them, great.
Right. I see people.
I may not always agree with everything that they're doing or using, but professionally,
Right.
like I say, it's their hair. If they're happy, let them be.
Yeah, those of you who have either watched these videos or long enough or long ago watched my videos that I did alone and see me comment in a lot of the different Facebook groups and on Instagram and whatever, you'll see, a lot of times I'll give just two common answers when I see this stuff happen. And it's, and one of them is, do you,
Yeah. I mean,
just do you. I mean, you're not going to get you're not going to get a big argument from me.
But don't try to convert everybody else to do what you're doing.
There you go.
Exactly.
I mean, right there is the key.
Yeah. Just because you love to wear a mullet doesn't mean that that's, the in thing and everybody's going to look great in it. Because, I mean, we have clients like that. We do. And it's
with
like,
mullets?
Sure. Yeah.
No.
And they make you do something that we think is actually hideous, but I could do the best haircut, recommend the best products, and they still wouldn't be happy. And they're happy with a mullet. So then just give them the dang mullet.
So we could kind of connect this into.
There's people that brush their curls. It looks hideous to me. It looks frizzy. It looks crazy. And then they're like, oh, why is my hair so frizzy? Because you're brushing through it. Who does that? But then they don't like it when it's tight and curly. So, that's their choice.
And is that really the bottom line from a salon standpoint?
But don't recommend it to other people as this is what you should be doing.
Yeah, that's the line right there.
Yeah.
As far as I'm concerned, that's the line. So,
Cara,
there you have it. Hopefully that helps you out. The next one's from Claire. Are curly girl friendly shampoos still damaging even though they're curly girl friendly?
Well, we've talked about this before. So there's different ideas of what's curly girl friendly. There may be things that are considered curly girl friendly that I personally wouldn't recommend as being the best for the hair.
It goes back to
the
last
quality
week's
of
show,
ingredients.
right?
Yeah, quality
Was that
of ingredients.
last week? 85?
Yeah. So it could be, you're going to get different results with different quality of products. So even if you have, my opinion, because I am a professional, is if you're using cheap or store-bought retail products, you're not going to have the same results as having high quality professional ingredients. And again, I don't see that would be best, but if you're happy, God bless you.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Catherine would like to, let me adjust this a little bit. Okay. I recently bumped into an article that made me wonder if the hair is really a quote unquote dead part of the body, thus we are not in any pain when cutting it, then most, not all, of the hair product on the market is a great marketing scheme. The only real thing that can possibly affect our hair is what we put in our body internally, not what we put on our hair externally. I'm honestly curious and would love to get more information on this topic. Thank you. What are your thoughts?
Well, I kind of understand where they're coming from, and that seems logically to make sense, but it's not completely true. So yes, like the blood flow and all that is in the hair follicle, and basically.
So is the follicle dead or alive?
No, the follicle's alive.
Is the follicle in the scalp or outside of the scalp? In the scalp. It's in the scalp.
Yeah.
So is it considered part of the hair or not part of the hair?
It is part of the hair. Yes.
Okay.
So the bulb of the hair follicle is in the scalp. That's where it's attached, it's connected, it's living, there's blood flow. And that's why, we have growth, just like plants, where their roots are in the ground. And that's where the growth starts. And it's cultivated by, the nutrients that are added and the fertilizers and the rain. So hair is very similar to that. But, what is coming out of our head is considered dead. However, products that we use can affect and influence that part of the hair, so it can smooth it, because there's a cuticle layer that is like shingles on a roof or
That's a good
scales
example.
scales on
A
a fish, or
or
you
a
know, a
snake.
pine cone, yeah, a snake, or and those can be raised open, or you know, they're when they're healthy, they're closed down and smooth. So we can do things to influence that part of the hair that gets damaged because it no longer is living. So it is, you know, broken down by the environment and the brushing and the coloring and all the things that we do to it. So she is somewhat correct, but not 100%. So that's the answer, that you definitely can influence and change the rest of the hair strand by the products that you're using. But definitely, I do agree with, you know, having a healthy diet and encouraging, you know, your hair growth to come from within.
Sure. Makes a lot of sense.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Next question. I know we are to avoid using heat when going natural. She means curly girl, I guess. When going natural and embracing our curls, but diffusing, isn't that considered heat?
Yes. So when, you know, we're talking about limiting heat, and again, you know, these are all choices that you make. And, you know, I don't believe in saying absolutely you cannot use any heat on your hair, or, you know, you cannot color, or you cannot highlight. But you just have to know the consequences of doing these things and then recondition, because you're breaking it down. So heat is going to dehydrate and break down and cause damage to the hair. And so then you have to replenish and repair and restore and recondition what you've done. So yes, diffusing, but why we recommend diffusing if you're going to use heat at all is because it's a gentler form of heat. You know, we typically don't use super high heat, and that's why it's called diffusing, because it's more of a big round cylinder like this microphone, and the air is pushed out gently into a larger area instead of blasting full heat at one spot like a regular typical blow dryer with a nozzle, if that makes sense. So it makes it softer, and so that's gentler on the hair.
Okay. You use that at the salon?
We do.
You do?
Yeah.
What do you do on your hair?
I diffuse it. I mostly air dry. And that's what I usually teach people. And again, it's going to depend on the hair type and the curl type. But with my hair, I let it air dry 50 to 80% of the way, and then I just diffuse for 5 minutes or less, which I love the term from one of my clients. I've totally stolen it from her. So we call it fluffing and puffing. So I just fluff and puff my hair for 5 minutes or less to give it more fullness and soften that curl.
Okay. Okay. All right. Tony has a question. Are there particular combinations of products that work better together? There are so many variations of so many different types of products. What is your opinion, Melanie, on quote unquote cocktailing one brand with a different brand? Is there anything to be concerned about?
Yes.
Do you want to explain what cocktailing is first?
Oh, we're back to drinking cocktails.
This whole show is about drinking.
Wow. What's your favorite cocktail?
What's your favorite cocktail?
My favorite cocktail is...
Oh, I know. Yeah, that new thing.
What new thing?
The thing you had Saturday night.
No, that's not my favorite.
Oh, I thought you liked that.
No, my favorite would be that thing that I had in Anna Maria Island, that dreamsicle.
Oh,
it's like, it's orange ice cream.
Yeah, yeah.
Anyway, I'm a wimp. And in the old days when I used to actually really drink, my favorite was what? You should know. I had it on our first date. Ooh, he's under the gun. Let's see.
I don't remember.
Doesn't remember.
It's been like 20 some years since.
You should remember. It was a special date.
I don't remember. Sorry.
Amaretto and orange juice.
Amaretto and orange juice because it's sweet. It tastes like candy. Big shot.
Anyway, cocktailing. I don't do a ton of cocktailing. I do, the one thing that I do cocktail together in my Raw Curls line is the Pomade and Shine Serum. I'm more of a layering kind of person, so I layer products one on top of the other, but I don't. So cocktailing, you asked me to explain, is taking two products, I guess, or more. I've never really experimented.
Could be more than two.
So taking two products or more and literally mixing them together and then applying them to the hair. So I don't do a lot of that with the Raw Curls line. I just take the pomade and I put a squirt of the Shine Serum in, and that is a beautiful cocktail because you have the hold of the pomade and then the shine of the serum. So they can be used separately, but I like that combination together. So, but you do have to be careful. So to get back to the question, you do have to be very careful cocktailing different lines of products together because they are made, it's like mixing oil and water together. They can repel, they can curdle, and I've seen it happen. We had that happen even with like two of our products. What was that I tried to mix together? And it turned into like sour milk. It was just chunks.
Melanie, do you have to go completely hair color free to be curly girl?
No.
No.
I answered that earlier.
I didn't ask that question. It must have been, was it something different?
No, but I went into that.
Yeah. So no. So just leave it at that. We'll go to another one. Okay. So no.
But choose your color wisely if you want to keep your curls as healthy as possible.
Yeah. Ooh, this is a fun one. Here's the next one. This one's from Denise. With all the work we do figuring out which products make our quote unquote natural hair more healthy, does it ever get to the point that your healthy hair doesn't need products and it will look beautiful, truly natural?
No.
Do you want to elaborate on that or you just want to leave it as a no? Have you ever tried it?
No, because it would look horrible. So, curly hair typically has a drier, coarser texture. And I tell people all the time, if you're not going to use products, it's hard to help you to have your hair look its best. I mean, it's very rare that maybe you can use the minimal amount of products, just a little bit of leave-in conditioner or, a little mousse or something lighter. But I know our hair, again, because that part of the hair is dead, it needs help. It needs, something to make it look better and smoother and shinier and, frizz-free and form your curls. I mean, if I didn't put product in my hair, it would look just like fuzz. It would look like Mufasa.
Mufasa. Okay.
How much time? Where are we?
We're gonna do one. I still didn't. We're gonna do one more question. I think. Red, how are we doing on time?
Ooh. Wow,
okay.
We're doing
all right. We got a little bit of time. Okay, Melanie, do I need to style my hair often in order to see results? She means when she says results, she means as her curls getting better. To be able to see her curls getting better. Do I need to style my hair more often in order to see my curls getting better? More often than not, I tend to shower, then throw it up in a bun and keep it that style until 4 to 7 days later when I wash it again.
So she's not styling her hair.
No, but she's probably wondering why she's not seeing results as far as, because she's not really embracing her curls. Yeah, she's not really embracing her curls. Yeah.
I don't put my hair up in a bun or a braid until it's like the, third or fourth day when it's more dirty and I don't, if I'm not getting as nice of a curl, I wouldn't put it up in a bun right away.
So does styling it in that manner, does it really encourage the curl?
No,
I mean, does it have memory at all?
Well, I went through this with one of my clients. If you're constantly putting your hair up, pulling it back, putting it in a ponytail, wearing it in a bun, I mean, that's pulling the curl out. You're straightening, you're smoothing your hair, you're putting stress on those curls. So you're not going to have your best curls when you take it out. And if you're doing this on a regular basis, your hair has a certain curl memory, but your curl memory now is that it's smooth and straight. So, it's going to take a little bit, like if I get, even when I get my hair cut, and this happens to some people, it takes almost like a couple of days or, until I shampoo it next, it kind of goes into a little shock, and then it reverts back to itself. But, I mean, it's not a shocker to me that she's having a struggle. I mean, that's kind of backwards. I would style your hair, in a curly style, down or loose or free or, first, and then, work your way into a bun if you want to not wash for that many days.
Yeah, that's a lot. 7 days is a lot.
That's a long time. Yeah. I mean, it's a real stretch for me to go 4 days. I really can't stand it. I feel like it's dirty. It's gross, but sometimes I can still have a nice curl when I've used the Raw Curls Firm Gel. because you get the stronger, longer curl that way. But still, I just feel like I need to wash my scalp. And the curl does break down, even though it holds pretty nicely, but by day 4, it's a stretch for me. And then I usually want it out of my face, and it goes up either in a braid or a bun.
Okay. Okay, great. Okay, this week, you guys, this is the big week. We're 5 days and counting away, right?
We are ready.
We are 5 days and counting away from the Raw Curls Day of Curls giveaway.
Do people remember?
Do people remember?
People don't even know what we're talking about.
That's right. You probably don't. I know a lot of you do. We did a couple of months ago, we did a month-long giveaway where we gave away the biggest prize package in the curl industry that I'd ever seen. And it was a full day of curls. And what the winner got is an all-expense-paid trip to the Raw Hair Organic Salon in beautiful Naples, Florida, and a complete curly makeover by curl specialist Melanie Nickels and her staff of curl specialists. And then we throw her on her plane and send her back home same day, everything in a full day.
So she's flying in, getting pampered, and flying home.
And that is happening
a couple of surprises.
Yes, a couple of surprises. That's happening this Saturday.
Yay.
And what's fun about that is we're gonna film the whole thing from the time I pick her up at the airport.
Maybe. You said you might not be able to film at the airport.
Oh yeah. Well, we'll probably have to do it outside. My gut feeling is telling me that we'd get TSA or somebody grabbing our cameras, which would be really bad, because they're really expensive. So I'm guessing.
Why would they do? I don't know.
Well, because you don't want them filming, the airport. Well, because how do they know we're not terrorists, plotting where's this, where's that? You know what I mean?
If you're filming, I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't
want to.
I think they could tell you're filming.
I don't want to. I don't know if I'm going to risk it. We're going to play it by ear. So. Never seen the inside of a jail cell. Don't really want to start, but hey, but I'll take one for the team.
Is coming to
She's
Naples,
coming, yes,
and we're ready.
So she's getting the whole deal. We're going to film it, and then we're going to show it to you probably the following week once we get it all edited up, and we'll do it in a show like this, in our Monday show, and we'll show you guys that whole video. And then we'll talk about it. We'll talk about it after that. The other thing is I've been talking about for quite some time that when we switch to doing podcasts as well as the videos on YouTube and whatever, that we were going to start doing a Wednesday curly Q&A that wasn't with Melanie, but we're going to bring in industry guests. And that is actually starting this Wednesday, wherever you're consuming this, whether it's a podcast or on video. Same thing, Wednesday, 7:30 p.m. Eastern time. And we're going to
be with me. Sometimes it will.
Well, it'll be with you, but you won't be the question answerer.
Ooh.
We will be interviewing. So we've got the next 2 weeks. Next 2 Wednesdays, we've got interviews. This Wednesday we are interviewing a Diva Curl Level 3 stylist, curl specialist, Andy Davis. I know a lot of you in the curly groups know who she is, and we're going to bring her on this Wednesday with your questions, and she's going to get peppered with them, and she's going to answer them just like we do. And then next week Wednesday, should I announce next week Wednesday who we've got for a guest?
Do I know?
You probably do know. Next week Wednesday, and I'll if you've got questions, feel free, post them in the comment section wherever you're watching this tonight. Or you can message them to me and I'll get them. But next week, Wednesday, we are interviewing, our guest is, drumroll, Jessica McGinty, who is the president of Jessie Curl Products and friend of the show, personal friend of ours. And
I want to be there. I hope I'm a part of that.
We're bringing her, next week, Wednesday. We're bringing her on.
You said without me.
No, well, you're not answering questions. So you guys, if you've got questions for her that I know a lot of people ask, we're going to ask her all the tough questions. I don't know if there are any tough questions, but it's going to be fun.
I'm still mad that her hair cut my finger.
We'll talk about that. I know a lot of you guys don't know about that, but
it's a weapon.
We'll talk about that. You know what my gut is telling me? That show's going to go more than half an hour. Because we haven't talked to her for a while. We haven't talked to her in a while, and so we enjoy.
I'm not cutting your hair this time, Jess.
Right. Yeah, that is really kind of the funny thing. And we talked about this before, is, there's so many people that really believe that, like in the curly curly hair game as far as products and stylists and whatever, that everybody hates everybody and everyone, and it just isn't the case.
Gosh, it's like, oh, really?
It's kind of a fraternity.
It's like, actually almost the complete opposite. Like I look so forward to seeing these people. I can think along the way, along the years, there has been some animosity, with a couple of people, but I don't know, that's been a long time ago. And like it's exciting. We all look forward to seeing each other and sharing and talking, and it's exciting. It's fun.
Yeah. I only had one bad experience with one gentleman once. Remember that?
No.
I'll remind you after
Where
this.
was it? In Chicago?
No, Orlando Hair Show. That guy.
I think I do know.
That guy. Anyway.
Okay.
But we don't need to concentrate on the negative. We're going to talk about the positive and the fun people.
Actually,
for the most part,
like I said, everybody really
for the most part, everybody's really
fun. A lot of fun.
So that'll be good.
We might get silly.
Yeah, we might. So this Wednesday, join us same time, and we'll have the interview with Andy Davis, and I think that's about it. And then it's a busy week. So what a busy week with Melanie's on vacation, right?
It's my vacation week.
Right? The whole Dante
vacation is this?
Dante from Clerks, right? I'm not even supposed to be here.
I'm not even supposed to be here. What am I doing?
What am I doing here? So that's it. Okay.
I'm out of here.
All right. So we'll see you guys on Wednesday. Thanks for joining us. Get your comments and questions in early, and we'll see you on Wednesday or next Monday. See ya.